Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Yeah, the old clock says it's 5 o'clock. Beer 30. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today's beer comes from Evil Twin Brewing. They're out of New York. This is their Even More Tuxedo t-shirt. Jesus, however you want to pronounce that. This was sent to me by Christian. And he writes, he picked this up about a month ago from a local package store. And he bought a second one that he still have not tried at the time he sent me this one. So, Christian, thanks a bunch for sending me the beers that you've sent me. Guys, everybody knows how I feel about Evil Twin beers. This has been following me for a while. I don't buy their beers. But I do review them, just like a lot of other ones that I don't buy. That are sent to me. I'm obligated. I mean, I've said this on the Founders Beers and Goose Island beers and stuff. If they're sent to me, I will review them, but I don't spend my money on Evil Twin beers anymore because the guy that owns those beer companies is a jerk. They do make some very tasty beers, those guys, and I don't hold that against them when I review them. If it's a 10 beer, I'm going to tell you it's a 10 beer. If it's not, I'm going to tell you that too. But their beers are very pricey. Christian doesn't tell me what he paid for this, but around here, these beers are high dollar, very high dollar. So, with that being said, it's a 13%er. It's an Imperial Stout, and it's a barrel-aged stout on top of that. Let's jump over to Untapped, and they have no IBUs. They say Imperial Stout brewed with milk, sugar, and vanilla, and coffee added, aged on bourbon maple syrup barrels. Should be a very sweet beer, a good dessert beer probably. So let's get it open. It is a 22-ounce bomber, and see what this one brings to the table. I can get my hands on the opener. Plain Jane, gold cap on it. I'm not spending a lot of excess money on producing a fancy cap. Stick on wrap around label. I didn't see any kind of dating on this, but it is the 2019 edition at 13%. Imperial Stout brewed with milk, sugar, vanilla, and coffee added, aged in bourbon maple syrup barrels. I don't see anything dating or vintage on the label here, guys. Maybe something stamped on the bottle. I don't know. Really don't care. It is what it is, no matter what vintage it is. But I think the one they did before this was like 11 point some percent, and the 2019 went up to 13. So, nothing there for the other half. Not much head on that aggressive pour. Just barely covering the top of the beer. It is a very dark beer. No light coming through it. It is a very black beer. To the nose we go. Very pleasant aroma, rich roasted malt. I am getting hints of the bourbon. Some black molasses. With what they said about the maple syrup barrels, I was expecting a little bit more sweetness in the aroma, but it's not there. Maybe even some dark fruit in there. Smells very pleasant. The alcohol on the nose seems to be well hidden for a monster 13%er. Smells very tasty. A great final beer of the evening, hopefully, which it is for me. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Christian. As you can see, the head is dissipated completely now. There is absolutely none, not even on the top of the glass. See, I'm in the top of the beer here on the glass. Cheers. A very nice sweetness, evidently, from the maple syrup barrels. That's a very, very pleasant beer. Like I said, they make, especially in this series or that style, Most of their stuff is 12%, around 12%, a little more, something a little less. But they do this style of beer very, very well, guys. I cannot take that away from them. But they are expensive around here. You're in the $20 plus range on any of their beers, especially these big 22-ounce bombers. But you know, it is what it is, guys. They're brewing a 13% beer and they're putting in barrels for aging. We don't know how long they're leaving them in the barrels, so you're going to pay more for that process. I mean, it is what it is. I'm definitely getting the sweetness from the maple syrup in the bourbon. Maybe a little bit of vanilla or coconut from the barrel aging. Black molasses. Very tasty. Very sweet. A good dessert beer. Would probably go well with a lot of chocolate dishes. And if you're a big bold kind of guy or gal that wants to drink something like this for breakfast, I can't imagine that, drinking a 13% beer for breakfast. Might go with something with maple syrup, pancakes, waffles, or something like that. I would never drink this for breakfast, but I'm an old fart. So some of you young bucks and gals may, especially on the weekend if you're not going to work or something, but it is a nice, sweet Imperial Stout with bourbon and maple syrup notes on it. So let me sip on this, pour her a glass, and we'll come back and give it a grade. Alright guys, I'm back. Got a little bit left here. Very tasty beer. Not a 10 beer in my opinion, guys. There is no vintage or dating or anything on the bottles. They don't think that's necessary. So I don't think it's necessary for me to give them a better grade. I'm not a fan of Evil Twin, Jeppy. He's a loser as far as I'm concerned. Wish him all the best of luck. They do produce a nice Imperial Stout. I will say that, but they're very, very pricey. They're very proud of their beers, especially around here. Now, they may be a little cheaper in other places closer to the brewery, but I don't buy their beers anymore, guys. I said that before. They do produce tasty beers, and I'm not going to take that away from this beer. It is a very tasty beer for a 13%. Alcohol is well hidden. It's a very enjoyable beer to drink, and so in my opinion, they've done this one very, very well. Very pleasant aroma on this beer. I mean, the maple syrup there, the bourbon notes are there, rich roasted malt, black molasses, and maybe a little bit of bittersweet chocolate, not much, maybe a hint of some dark fruit. Tasty beer. I enjoyed it. So, Christian, thanks again for sending it to me. I did enjoy it. It's a very tasty beer. Final chug. Wow. Very tasty. Very, very delicious beer, guys. If you can get your hands on this beer and you have deep pockets, pick you up a 1, 2, 3, whatever you can afford to buy. It would probably sell it very well. There's no coffee that's been introduced in the beer as far as I know. You might get some coffee taste in it if you drink it fresh. Enjoyable. I will say that. It is. They do these beers very well, guys. So to me, it's an A beer, and I'm going to give it 97. That's where I'm going to put this beer. There is no vintage or dating on it. If it had that on it, I might consider giving it a better grade. But as far as I'm concerned, it is a 2019 edition, being a 13%er. So I wish they'd put that on the label somewhere or stamp it on the bottle with a bright yellow, white, blue ink, but they choose not to. So over to Beer Advocate, they have an A. Not enough people have commented to give them a grade. So over to Untapped, they have it at 4.34. That's also in their A category, and I agree. It is an A beer. It is a well done beer, guys. It is. It is. So I enjoyed it. So Christian, once again, thanks again for sending it to me. 97 for me, in the upper end of their A category, my A category. So it is a tasty beer. Well done. So with that being said, if you've had the even more Tuxedo T-Cert Jesus of 20 or Jesus of 2019, 13%er from Evil Twin Brewing, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.